Hello, Twitch and or YouTube. Welcome back to my stream. Thanks for coming on. I'm Josh Goldberg. I'm a full-time independent open source maintainer in the TypeScript ecosystem. I work on projects such as typescript-eslint that let you write TypeScript code a little better and catch bugs for you. This is my weekly stream, Thursday, 10:30 a.m. EST or so. Going to be working on open source stuff today, but y'all should totally reach out, ask questions, pop in the chat, let me know if there's anything that's unclear you want to talk about, if you find amusing or horrifying I want to ask questions on. Always happy to chat. I'm going to be doing my kind of regular-ish stream of going through the typescript-eslint issue and PR backlogs. I keep almost getting down to zero or near zero actionable things for me to do, so I'm pretty excited about that. We've got a pretty hefty backlog there, but not too many things to look at. I'm going to start with some light issue triaging today. Got 27 open things. When my minus label all the statuses or whatnot that I want to ignore. Also minus author Joshua K. Goldberg. And so let's go to some of the older ones. First one I'm going to look at today is enhancement check for switches with multiple default cases. This got filed in December and kind of lost track of where we're thinking for it. So what I always do is I post Blue Sky Mastodon and Twitter. First up, issue from December. This would be the parser package. Switch statements with multiple, for handling switch statements with multiple default cases. And this is from D. Martins. I've seen their name on the issue tracker before. No social links. Alright, so the parser, our thing that takes in a string or a TypeScript source file and turns it into something that ESLint can work with. So a parser test with multiple default cases for a switch, default, what is this? Causes ESLint's code path analysis throw an error. Wants to add a case of the AST converter to check for multiple default cases, even if parser options allow invalid AST, which is our option in the parser to say, okay, be all right with people providing you syntactically invalid code strings. TypeScript considers it an invalid thing. TypeScript lang.o/play to check what it looks like there. And their site color detection is broken. So let's take ours is 2. And TypeScript does not report a complaint here. So that's cool. It is valid. No. Nope, it does report a complaint. It's just the playground wasn't updating. A default case cannot appear more than once in a switch statement. All right. And, we throw an error. That's nice. Cannot read properties of null reading make next. Well. So they're saying you shouldn't use the allow invalid AST if you have a linter. ESPre, Babel, and SWC, with other parsers in the ecosystem, all error with multiple defaults. Yeah, definitely +1 to throwing an error. Yep, so it seems pretty straightforward to me that we should add something for this, accepting PRs. Yay! Easy peasy. Refresh, and it's off the list. All right. Next up, preferred. Oh, wait, no, this one I was talking about was elsewhere. All right, here we go. This one looks juicy. Switch exhaustiveness check. I had commented on this 4 days ago. Okay, so I'll wait on that one. These ones we've been talking about separately. Repo set conventions for, oh no. I don't want to go over things that I previously chatted within the last week on. All right, here we go. Bug, ban TS comment incorrectly handles directives in multi-line block. Load, baby. All right, and should report. Okay, so this one, so what's happening here? Let's take a look. Let's triage this. Oh boy, first time chat from someone who's spamming. And where's the block button? Bans. Reported. Spam. Love it. That was fun. Anyway, so I'm gonna post this issue, pinned it, and let's. Next up, an issue on the ban TS comment rule handling multi-line strings nicely. And this is from Avred. Hello, Avred, repeat contributor. Big fan over here. I believe they're on Twitter. It's just not linked on their GitHub. Okay. Ban TS comment. What does this rule do? This rule, typescript-issues.io rules ban TS comments. Its point is to let you know if you use one of these TS comments, like expect error or ignore. Those are bad practice generally. Some of the comments in TypeScript are okay, like TS check enables type checking in a JavaScript file. Big fan of that. Disallow TS whatever comments or require descriptions after them. So if you're going to use them, it's either banned outright or allowed if you like provide a description of why you're using it. Okay, so here the problem is if someone does a multi-line comment with like text before it, it's not handled nicely. And then single line multi comments should not report. Interesting. What is this? So if we do a single line here, I don't know why are these not supposed to report? So for this first one, let's just look at the first one for now. So this should report, and that's okay. TS ignore, it's a multi-line comment, and we've been configured to always complain on TS ignores. So this is good. Next up, it should still report here. Yes, so foo3, it should report, wait, hang on, I'm looking at the wrong one. All right, so foo2, when there's some text before the TS ignore, it doesn't report. So that's a bug. So this one, new text. Well, that's TypeScript code actually. Just commenting or taking notes down. Now let's look at the rest. This should not report. Shouldn't this report? Why wouldn't these multi-line comments report? I don't follow. All right. I don't follow why these shouldn't be a report. I see that Avred did post an explanation. So it shouldn't report. So one, it should report a multi-line block comments with any extra characters in the lines before TS ignore, TS expect error directives, as TypeScript tries to find these directives in the last line of the block comment. but it shouldn't report on TS no checking. TS check directives using block comments as they are only valid as single line comment pragmas. So that's fun. And then apparently TypeScript has a reference to this in compiler types. Love it. Okay. So this is a fun quirk on TypeScript. So yeah, confirm with the shenanigans I'm seeing are correct. This is great. Fun fact on TS expect error. I added that. That was me. I did the pull request. Also, there are a lot of reviews on it and like really good code suggestions from TypeScript folks. But also, me. But yeah, this bug looks good. Accepting PRs. Fun little nuances of the TypeScript pragmas and whatever directives. Okay. Nice and straightforward. Next up, rule proposal. Prefer array prototype sum over array prototype find. Ooh, got a couple of thumbs up. That's nice. Ardell Pickle, first time chat. Welcome. Thanks for coming over. I love the little teddy bear emoji. How's it going? What are you up to? Welcome to the stream. Right now, I just pinned the next issue to look at. You come in at a good time. I'm just triaging issues. Oh, Captain Kirk's here. Hi, Kirk. Very good. Kinda chillin' is a good place to be. Kirk, I keep forgetting. What, if any, social media networks are you on that I should ping you on? Switching over to a rule proposal for preferring array, what was it? Dot sum over find. Captain, I wonder if there's like a Captain Kirk Star Trek account on Twitter. No socials worry about. ACK works for me, makes it easier. And yay, thank you, Pickle. I appreciate it. What does Ardell Pickle refer to? Is that a what the hell? The user aborted a request. What is that like? Oh my god, what's the show? Rugrats, Dill Pickle thing. Side note, I made pickles for the first time a few weeks ago. They were pretty yummy. Actually, surprisingly easy too. You just put a bunch of cucumbers, like sliced up, in a jar with like water, salt, pepper, if you want like herbs, spices, peppers, whatnot in there. And then there's like this pickling spice you can get in grocery stores. Keep them in for a little while, not too long, they get soggy. I learned that the hard way. All right. Prefer array prototype sum over array prototype find in Boolean contexts. Following up on 6886 parentheses comments from Josh Cena, another maintainer. I have a related request. You think you should prefer sum over either filter 0 or find if the return value is only used in Boolean context? Yeah, that makes sense. So previously, Kirk had a few first-time chats. Previously, Kirk had added, I think, it was you? Yeah, had added a prefer find. Let me just post this and then get to the chat. Prefer find, which is an awesome new rule. Yeah, so this is like a corollary to that. So in addition to preferring .find over .filter with a 0, because .find short circuits when it finds a thing and filter goes through the entire array always no matter what, it'd be nice to do the same thing for .sum. So like instead of .find of, or just checking if that's Boolean, you can do .sum. That makes a lot of sense. So for me, this is like a direct, straightforward win. Like, yeah, let's definitely do it. First time chat from Arca Pratim. Hi, welcome. What are you up to? Thanks for joining in. Same time with Faithfinder. Hello. I think there's already a rule like that in Plugin Unicorn. Oh my god, awesome. So Plugin Unicorn. I was just looking at that repo. Your initials are RD and Ardell stands for my name. That makes sense. Good name. Good name. I like it when people have cute names. Cute, clever, whatever the right adjective here is. All right, so where is the list of rules? Sum. Prefer array sum. Awesome. Doesn't filter have heavier optimizations available under maglev and find though? Does it? I truly have no idea. I guess what I should have mentioned as like the primary driver from me personally is that it's more idiomatic to use a dot sum to check whether some element, like one element, is matching some criteria. That's actually, in my opinion, like a main reason, like performance micro optimizations. I will say though, it is very difficult at times to determine whether a filter can be optimized. If you call to a function that calls to a function, etc., the engine often won't be able to determine whether the filter is side effect free. In theory, it should all JIT just in time, optimize to like really nice, clean, performance friendly stuff if it can tell, but engines are under a lot of pressure and don't always make the right choice. That's a great question. I would love to know if anyone has knowledge, info, references on optimizations. Also, what is maglev? Is that like a JavaScript engine thing? Ooh, that's the... Oh, I hadn't read this or seen it. Awesome. Cool. Posting in the chat. Thanks for showing me this. I'll adding it to my to-dos to look at later. Okay. Faithfinder, are you on GitHub? Noted that an equivalent exists in ESLint plugin Unicorn. Thanks. Our rules generally are able to... I'm guessing this one isn't typed. Oops. Type. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So the reason why I'm suggesting we add things here is our rules are generally able to use type for context. Our rules are generally able to use type information to determine whether something is an array versus just so happens to be used in an array-like way. This is something that we mentioned in the issue behind that other rule. Where is it? Here we go. Copy link. Similar to this thing. If we were to make code, I'm just going to copy paste it like this, like interface jerk code that has like a find that returns t, like something that just so happens to look like an array but doesn't have like a filter on it, let's say. Then, well, kind of, there's no way to determine from just the JavaScript version of this whether this jerk code variable is an array and like can be used with a dot whatever sum or some such. Cool. So that looks good to me. Thanks, y'all. Also, always happy to see people in the chat. Thanks. Sometimes it feels like I'm just shouting to the abyss. Look at me. I am open. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Let's see here. Prefer find add support for ternaries. Just curious, how did I get into contributing to TypeScript itself? TypeScript seems like a much more newcomer friendly environment. It kind of is. Yeah, I'm hesitant to just fully agree and say like, yeah, we're better than them, because I don't know. I feel drama-y saying that, but you're right. Like, I think contributing to TypeScript, because it's a programming language that's pretty popular. Good first issues don't often last very long there, whereas like community, like smaller projects like ours tend to have good first issues that last longer. And like, I don't know. We work really hard on the contributing experience. So thank you. As to how I got into TypeScript, it's my general advice, or similar to my general advice for getting into open source contributing in general. Not that you, Kirk, need help in that area, LOL. But I kind of ramped up into it. If you look at the history of me on the TypeScript issue tracker and polls, my oldest... Oh, I still have to get back to JSX thing. My oldest ones, first of all, I screwed up my first time in 2016 and like sent a PR for an issue that wasn't accepted. Whoops. Then I did a comment fix. Yay, thanks, Kirk. Appreciate it. 10 out of 10 newcomer experience. That makes me really happy. But yeah, no, so like I ramped up into small things. I then took over a PR that someone else had started, but then didn't have time to finish and said someone else should continue. Comment typo fix, like small formatting thing. I actually took a while to get into anything pertaining to like type checking or syntax parsing or whatever. 2 years? No, a year and a half after my first aborted PR, I finally got around to allow trailing commas. And I was like, wait, there's more than this. But no, it was just a pure deletion. 0 minus 12. If you're ever curious, I do have a set of blog posts I've been meaning to add to called TypeScript Contribution Diary that go into this. My blog will eventually be meaning to add support for like series, so you can like have like at the end of it like next and previous, the kind of manual for these. Hope that answers your question though, what you're looking for. Yeah, ramp up slowly and then get more and more into things. Honestly, Kirk, you or anyone else who contributes to typescript-eslint, the fact that you're like writing type check rules and stuff means you definitely have the info needed to get into TypeScript. Cool. Yay. But yeah, looking at this again, let me just go ahead and post. And another from Kirk. Yay. Enhancement for prefer find for checking ternaries. I actually just watched most of an episode that I'd previously started on Orville, the show from I know Seth MacFarlane stars in it. It was fun. It was amusing. It's interesting. It was very much like what the old Star Treks were, but like modernized a bit. So kicking around in your head, I know that feel so bad. Yeah. Sindra is on here. Cool. The like you verge a PR and then go, oh, but this. So PR for the rule originally 8216. Let me post the issue in the chat. There you go. Add rule prefer find was the original PR, and it doesn't yet support ternaries. Oh boy. Yes, add support for checking ternaries. This makes sense. I would even consider this a bug. Good catch. I'd even consider this a bug. But the rule, there's no reason why the rule wouldn't also want to catch these. If we were to consider this a feature, it would maybe arguably be a breaking change. But let's get this in quick as a bug. Yeah, no, I think this is very reasonable. Accepting PRs, bug. I always feel bad marking something that someone else did as a bug of like, hey, we should add support type thing like this. Because bug is technically the right thing, but I don't know. I don't like the negative connotation of bug. Like that PR was great. This rule is perfectly great. This is like a random edge case that arguably no one should ever hit. Like I have been meaning to write a lint rule or find an existing one against using ternaries and as an if statement in this way. It's just a weird style. Unreadable. No one ever thinks of it. Ugh. That's my opinion, at least. All right. Anyway, repo AST utils. Another Kirk is all over the place today. You are everywhere, man. Let's post around. One last one. Oh, that was your first new rule. That's right. One last issue. This one on mentioning some AST utils behaviors. Yeah, you should see some of my first lint PRs. Those things were real buggy. not just edge cases. You know, I'm going to change up how I post in the chat. I'm going to post on social first and then post in the chat. And then that means I can copy and paste the same message. Smart. All right. Mention behavior on symbols in JSDoc we get static value. Discovered at 8390. That's get static value considered symbol before a static value, but is not considered symbol not static. Yeah, I can see why you'd mention this. It's a good first issue, honestly. Little documentation thing. Yeah. Mentioned in eslint utils. Yeah. Symbols are always confusing. Agreed. All right, so that's the last of the issues I wanted to look at today. Everything else I believe I've like previously commented on, or I'm waiting for other maintainers to look at, or just it's not actionable for me. So that's nice. It's about, wow, less than half an hour into the stream. I feel good about that. Let's look at the PR review queue. Yay. Look at all these dependencies. Gonna just ignore those for the sake of the stream. Minus label dependencies. Alrighty. Oh my freaking god. Look at this. Look at this. Everywhere. Honestly, I love it. Thank you. You also, Yan Juan has been, let's see, 2 on the review. I love this. Like, this is great for us. Really pushing the repo forward. Ooh, what if I posted in the chat first? No. Switching over to PRs. Yet another from Kirk. Oh, well. Hell yeah. I'm just going to copy and paste the name. Adding use unknown and catch variables rule. Love it. Load blue sky. Why? I did not abort. I just switched tab. I meant blue sky. Come on. Cool. Alrighty. Rule proposal. Let's look at the backing issue first. Always use error unknown with promise.catch. So if you use promise.catch and you have an error right now in TypeScript, there's no way of enforcing specifically within TypeScript that the error is is type unknown. So you can like promise.catch with an error typed as error or any or whatever, and that's just allowed. TypeScript has a compiler option for like try catch for the catch to use an error as unknown, but not for random DTS defined APIs like promise.catch. So it actually was proposed to TypeScript per Brad and other Josh talking. Oh, I'm going to thumbs up that one. But then the lib files don't have a dependency right now on compiler options, so they haven't done this yet. This would be kind of a difficult change to do in TypeScript. Okay. Discussion. Oop, hello again. Do we want to use the type checker for this rule? Yeah, if we would, I can already tell. You have to use the type checker to know whether something is a particular type. So, cool. Discussion looks good. Let's start reviewing. Yay, I can just hide the snapshots. Oh boy. 663 lines of tests. I like this. Got some utilities here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at this. This is going to be a juicy one. Love it. Juicy. So I'm just collapsing the files. I don't need to look at list of rules. Boop. Disable type checked. All rules. I feel like this would be good in strict. Feature. What do you think about enabling this in the strict preset? For reference, we have quite a few presets. or shareable configs, I should start calling them. Strict is not only, or in addition to our recommended rules, stricter ones, and it is not a breaking change to add to it because specifically all strict and strict type checked are not stable, as in like it's not semver violating to add to them per our docs. Awesome. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna, because this is a nice juicy review, I'm gonna switch over to VS Code to review. Enforce typing arguments and catch callbacks as unknown. That is a good description. Actually, I wonder, do we ever use backticks in packages, eslint, plugin, docs, rules, star to MD? Yes, we do. So, I believe this is synced with the rule unknown in, forgot to check out the pull request. And boop. Pull yarn. All right, so use unknown in catch.ts. Yeah, so the description we can actually we can suggest using backticks here. This is a nitpick. Docs, nits. Other rules do this. Maybe good to do it here. Learner, hello. How's it going? Welcome back. I will note that we do have I saw an issue on the issue tracker that I'm going to have to get to later around repo standardizing. Where is it? There's something around standardizing. Something around descriptions. Where was it? I swear. There it is. 8319. That's cool. 8319 tracks setting conventions for lint messages. I do plan on looking at that. I just know I'm going to have to do a bunch of docs dives. Sorry, Stelshit, if you're watching and wondering why I'm not. Might be good to also standardize these. Cool. Someone let me know if the zoom level isn't enough. Okay. So I'm going to go through the docs first so that I can understand the rule before the code. And fun fact, all of our PRs get nice little Netlify environments. So use unknown in catch variable. What a long name. Love it. Thanks, Faithfinder. I'm glad. Scanning through the docs. A lot of info. I love this. Look at this. By the way, this cute little thing I set up in our docs. All of our type check rules inject this when not to use it section if it doesn't yet exist, or if it does exist, keep it. And then also inject this little notice that type check rules are powerful but slow. Cool. So in the context of exception handling, TypeScript treats catch variable. Type introduce this thing. Promise analog dot catch is not affected. Cool. These are good docs. Yeah, this is helpful. This is useful information. Relevant, pertinent. Love it. The one change I'm thinking of in my mind is when people read through docs files, they try to go for the, like, what is this? Like the real juice first. And if it takes a few paragraphs or like code/text context switches to get to, it's a little harder for them to internalize. So I think it would be good to probably reverse the order of the two halves. Right now, the first half is try catch. The second is promise.reject, or like sections, a little more on the latter. And then explain deeper, like, hey, you can't, there is like a thing for try catch, but it doesn't come into play here. Praise. This is really good info. Thanks for the deep explanation. I personally, I probably would have come to this, but there's a chance I would have been lazy. Just one suggestion on it. What do you think about reversing? I like that there are, I'm going to say reversing the two sections, but I should define what a section is first. I like that there are two sections here. The try catch compiler option area and the equivalent promise.reject area. Order of those two sections, i.e. Explaining promise. Wait, it's not just promise.reject. It's the promise catch area. Catch first, then adding in the ancillary info. Or is ancillary the right word to use here? Yeah. It's not dismissive, I don't think. Necessary support to the primary activities. Dictionaries. Around try catch second. My thought is that folks generally want the primary info first. Reading through context can dissuade them from getting to the real info. Not real info, it's all real info. To the most relevant info. Cool. Makes me happy. Incorrect, correct. We're just using promise reject as an example. Love it. Beautiful. Awesome. Info. There is actually a way to have the catch callback variable using unknown type without an explicit type annotation. But it has the drawback that it involves overwriting global type declarations. See this comment on the proposal and this TypeScript issue. Love it. Cool. Better TypeScript lib. Why not just comment a link to better TypeScript lib? Where is the files? I should probably put an incorrect example there. Any two now that I think about it. Yeah, +1. That would make sense. I'll let you do that. I don't want to get in your way. But yeah, I agree. For specifically this comment, how about linking, just posting it as MD, how about the main point of that comment that's relevant here is to point to better TypeScript lib. How about directing linking to that package in the docs instead to reduce the number of clicks it takes to get there? I'm also wondering if there are other places that do this. Like TS reset from Total TypeScript Matt Pocock, I want to say, might have like a promise catch thing. There we go. Yeah. So just posting the relevant thing here, and it's in progress. Yeah, so at least is in progress, and we'll want to link there once it lands. Yeah, cool. I don't know of any other like TS reset equivalents other than the two already mentioned, better TypeScript lib and TS reset. Does anyone else know these things? Might be useful. Anyway. Just also in accessibility notes, a lot of this is like something that I had to be explained multiple times before. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. The link should have a unique and relevant title, like something clear. Actually, maybe not unique, but it should have a title that explains what it is. Fun fact about accessibility. A lot of some screen reader similar folks, some folks will navigate through a page. How do I phrase this? By jumping between link tags. I'm just gonna accessibility link description. So like a reputable site that, there we go. Yep. Link purpose in context. What I'm looking for is a site that's like an accessibility resource that has like a good description of this. So links should have like a descriptive text. Sorry, my nose itches. So yeah, this, I don't quickly see like a really good succinct description of this from the page, but basically the link text should describe what it is. We should lint for this. Someone should eventually do something about that to make that lintable. So it's clear without context from the surrounding text. Accessibility. Fun fact. Cool, and I'm just gonna add this. I like putting little like what the comment is in front, so it's clear like what is a praise or whatnot. So docs. All right. It wouldn't have any adverse effects. That's incorrect, unfortunately. The spirit is true, I agree. I wish I could agree. But some folks would protest that it makes it harder to, or that it makes new type errors in your code. Which if you don't have the time, knowledge, and time to deal with them, then that can be painful. Maybe, so suggestion. Then do I have a sarcasm tag as an opposite of praise? No, I don't. That would be funny. I guess I just don't use any tags for my my joking around on the internet. I try to be very clear because sarcasm can be hard to transmit. Morning, Dev. How's it going? Thanks for hopping on. How do I rephrase this? Estevez Lewis, good morning to you as well. How are you? It does not use, is not yet able to enable. It likely would be similarly difficult to enable this rule. These are 2 points. So it's good to separate points. I think people tend to read each paragraph as its own idea. How do I rephrase it? Honestly, I would probably use a browser extension that was able to take my like vague mutterings of how I want to rephrase things. That's a good idea. Yeah. All right, so that's the docs. Pretty pleased with the docs. Let's move on to the code. How does this work? So for those who haven't played around too much with ESLint things, the way ESLint rules work is you have a rule function, or this create rule thingy is like a nice wrapper that we wrote, but basically you have 2 important parts, meta and create. Basically everything is metadata other than create. Meta is the description of like how it shows in the docs, or what type of rule it is, and the messages it might contain, like that type of stuff. And create is a function that takes in an object that like has a bunch of ESLint APIs, and then returns a bunch of key value selectors. Here we go. Selectors and functions. Whenever you see a call expression in the representation of your code, do some logic that might eventually context.report to say this is a complaint. GPTK Gotberg, I love it. My blog is Gold Blog. Maybe I should call it Gold Bot. Yeah. Linting as a service. I have a thing that I normally AST. Where's my stream element? Come on. No link. Well, anyway, we have a blog post on how linting and such works. So if anyone's curious, this is more info. Stream Elements has had like a 30% at best rate of successfully parsing my commands. Anyway, fold all. Let's dive in. Create rule, meta, docs already looked at, messages. A lot of messages here. This is going to probably take a while. So let's go to create. Let's see what happens when we see a call expression. Ryan Furrer, welcome to the chat. Furrer? Not Fuhrer, I'm guessing. How's it going? Are you a typescript-eslint user? I should always ask people that. So if call expression has no arguments, this rule doesn't apply. So I'm guessing use unknown in etc. test. So if we have so that would be like this case. Like basically the way a lot of rules work, and I'm guessing this one is you select a node, see if it matches the criteria, and then complain if so. So the criteria is it needs to be a call expression that takes in an argument. It needs to be a .catch. If the first argument is a spread element, oh boy. You are a typescript-eslint user, yay. Thanks for using us. If you have any feedback, always down. And I'll go into that later. So yeah, this is funny. If you do ... args unknown, this is allowed. This is actually something that like people do once in a while, even though like catch, basically you only ever have the one parameter. All right. I also wonder if the rule nicely handles like ... args. If is this valid? It's catch ... handlers. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's open this rule in the playground. Come on, TypeScript. Load your crap. In the meantime, let's see if... Oh, there we go. Okay. So ... error. Is this case handled? ... error. This case is handled. Yay. Wait. Does this work? Haha. Nice. Cool. Let me just see if this is missing test case, I guess. Maybe I might miss it. As I go through, we'll see. So what I often do is some more test cases. I'll like set up a list of them, and then as I go through, I'll add and remove that list as I see them come up. Or if in the Twitch chat someone mentions it. Toby, you made it. Thanks for coming on. How you doing? So yeah, let's keep going. So I'm just looking through use unknown and catch callback variable. Oh boy, spreads in both positions. Got catch ... handlers ... args and destructuring. God, what a fun thing. Archiper thank you. Great question. You're curious, isn't catch supposed to be called with one argument? Yes, you're right. Catch is supposed to be called with one argument. So the vast majority of the time, what we're talking about now, this like ... args and a catch is ridiculous. Who the hell would write this code? But fortunately, sometimes people do. and this rule needs to handle that case. I have no idea in my head. I have no concept of why one would want to write this code. But in theory, we have to handle it in case they do. You're absolutely right. This is ridiculous. Also, by the way, Promise is A+. What a throwback. I remember like really getting interested in this back in the day. Because before promises were built into JavaScript, like we had a million different implementations, and then we had like A and A+, and all these different proposals for how to standardize it. Fascinating bit of JavaScript history that nowadays most people, when they learn JavaScript, don't get into. Yeah, so like if someone copies and pastes code from an old handler or something, it is likely that, or it is plausible that they might have something like this. Anyway, so if we have special cases around spread elements, I'll look into those later. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So I guess, Kirk, from your points in the chat, you do handle then the case of someone passing in a separate handler. Oh my god, look at this. An array of them even. I love it. Cool. Yep. That's great. So that's why there's so many messages, yeah? Because you have inline versus passed in handlers. You have single parameter versus like arrest parameters. It's already like a 2x2 grid of things to complain about. All right, so normal cases. Check whether should flag arguments. We're guaranteed a report, but we have a bit of work to do to determine exactly where and whether we can fix it. All right, so overrides is refine report for normal argument if possible. Is this return necessary? Huh, I'm surprised we don't have a lint rule around an unnecessary return. Boop. Style knit dead return. Cool. So let's look into this. Refine report for normal argument if possible. Okay, so the argument is a TSES-tree.expression. So seriously operating under the assumption that the rule is reporting. Fun comments. Really, yeah, this is really helpful. Thank you. Praise. Really useful comments. Thanks for these. Suggestion style. Can you move them to JS doc comments on the functions? Or at least this one to JS doc comments. I might ask for more on the function. Want to emphasize. It feels useful as a good top level overview. Word. Okay, so only care to be helpful if a function literal has been provided. Arrow function expression or function expression. This comment, I guess. Shouldn't be reachable since function literals without an argument should not cause a rule for report. But if it does happen, fail gracefully. Assemble and ignore if. So generally, if we see these test style seeing and assemble ignore seeing any kind of, it's generally a sign that the types aren't is often a sign of realities. Like in this case, we know the argument has greater than or equal to 1 param. So the types should reflect that. Like an example here would be like you might do an expression and params which has like TSES tree.node, for example. I'll just copy and paste that, and actually you can see in the code, as soon as I make that change, well, this goes away because it's unnecessary conditional. Params is known to have a length of 1. Or it might be an array of them. So actually it would be tses tree.node array, because that's the syntax for TypeScript, an array of at least one. Actually, here if you do equality check for 0, TypeScript can't determine that either, because it just knows that length is a number. But we know that it's not 0. Well, interesting. We never actually checked that condition. In that case, great points. If the condition can be checked in tests, alternately, if the condition can be checked in tests, it should be. Yeah, so basically either this should be tested. Basically, either this should have a unit test that exercises it, or the types that show it doesn't need to be exercised. I should shout out people. Thank you for the prompt, Toby. I'm gonna shout out folks more often. New Year's resolution there. Also, shout out Toby. We've streamed before. Congrats, by the way, on the recent. Oh, can I not shout out too many people too soon? Dang it! Shout out Toby Solution. Come on. I have to wait 2 minutes. Okay, but yeah, congrats on the recent release of 1,000,003. I know you work hard on that. Is there a good way to write a unit test for a method rather than for the whole rule? No, we generally don't unit test methods within a rule, because if you can't exercise that method's case from testing the rule, then they shouldn't have that case in the first place. If it's like a shared method used across multiple rules, then it gets a little hairy. But in this case, either the rule can hit this case or the case should not exist. That's the strict dichotomy. Ooh, and I just realized my syntax is messed up. Boop. Awesome. And then if we look later in the code, we see first argument. So good luck with that. Anyway, sorry, my face has been itchy. Freaking cat hair all up in the air. Oh boy. Catch variable outer is argument param 0. Catch variable inner is, if it's an assignment pattern, the left, otherwise the outer, or it itself. Oh boy. Yeah, look at all these tricky little cases. So if it's an identifier, so if it's the thing being reported on as an identifier and it has a type annotation and there is no type annotation yet, then we return this thing. And one cool little tip I've seen for finding from a lint rule which syntax it looks for is to look at the unit tests. Make sure they're all passing. I mistyped that. And there we go. Comment out things to see what breaks. So here we comment that out. Oop, and we see a unit test failure. Prompts.catch error equals 2. So that's a cool one. So this thing should have suggested turning error unknown equals 2. Getting that little type annotation there. Awesome. So let's look at that suggestion. It has a fix. Either the argument is an arrow function, in which case we need to add parentheses around it. Look at that. Love that. Love that for us, that we have to handle all these random edge cases. Or we just insert a colon unknown. Cool. Thanks, Kirk. Appreciate it. I'm also curious, is never handled here nicely. What happens if we assert this to never? What happens actually if I do that? Let's go back to the playground. Is that allowed in TypeScript. Yep, that's fine. So we don't have to have explicit handling for the never type. All is well. I was thinking like, well, is this unknown, is never assignable to unknown? It is, because unknown is the top type. It allows everything. Or is it a bottom type? My God, I can never remember. Keep track of those things. All right, so this is good. This is good. So if it's not an identifier, then we check if it's an array or an object, in which case let's see what happens there. And the failure is this one. Problem solve, object destructuring with nothing in it. Look at that. So I bet you there's a dot catch with an object destruction. Oh, no. Just this one. Here we go. And array destructuring. Ooh, yeah, that's fun. Do we have handling for the object pattern case in the tests? So we have the empty object pattern, but this doesn't suggest fixing it. Okay, I might suggest, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking I might want a, let's see, like a what happens if you do, yeah, exactly, a non-zero number of properties, values, Yep. Gotcha. Let's add this as a comment. Testing. Boop. Word. Also, is there a reason these don't have what was it, line 280s or so? Suggestions? Where am I? 280. Question. Is there a reason these don't suggest adding unknown? I feel like that would be a nice little thing to add. Oh, because you can't, because it's an object. People are making an assumption that explains the message. Cool. Because there's no guarantee someone didn't throw like null or something to catch. The syntax is a failure already. Yep. Cool. Yeah. All right. Same page. Great. Moving on. If it's a rest element, as in like ... catch ... Let's look at you. Parentheses. There we go. ... x. Any x should be typed as unknown. If we don't have a type annotation, then we suggest adding in the text : unknown. Very nice. And then if we do have a type annotation, oh, then we still replace with the same text. Is this the exact same? I wonder if we can just be clever here and say like const message ID fix node message ID equals, if there is a catch variable type annotation, we say it is this and this. Little syntax shenanigan here. Might have to ask const both of them. And then here it's boop. Don't know that this is gonna work out beautifully, but let's find out. Oops, hit code by accident. Tests are all passing right now. Let's zoink this. Message ID go away, and then fix node. Fix node is Which one is potentially undefined? Oh, I mixed up the order for these. It's that way. Booyah. I always forget if I can as const around a ternary. I feel like at one point you couldn't, and I don't remember if I re-evaluated since. There we go. Oh, nope. Messed up my parentheses. Love learning about syntax errata this way. Yeah, nope, you can't. Annoying. But yeah, does the test pass? Nope. Nope, it's on the wrong ... args. Oh, geez. Oh, was it? It wasn't. It was an insert text, not a replace text. And okay, yeah, no, this whole suggestion, it's bunk. All right, looks good. Yay. We should be able to, similarly to before, we should be able to, ooh, a question, excellent. Factor. We should be able to know in the type system that this isn't necessary. So like if there's one type left in the unit you didn't understand. Okay. What I'm going to do quickly is just refactor this to a switch just to make it a little easier for me to read. And fold all. Switch on catch variable inner.type case ast nodes no types dot identifier. That goes here. Let's just make sure this compiles first before I continue. Extra. There we go. Case array pattern and object pattern. There's one TS parameter property. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Let's get to that. I'm gonna use some objects around this one. Okay. Wrapping my cases. Okay, not all code paths return a value. The case statement is not exhaustive. So let's write a default and then take a look at what it is. Defaults. What are we switching on? Catch variable inner.type. Let's see if I've got the 2/ extension installed. Yes, I do. There you go. All right, so it's a bunch of possible ones actually. TS parameter property. Yeah, so basically catch variable inner is, this is similar to before where we should be able to, an as assertion might be necessary if it as a fallback. So like ideally the parameter property would have this info in its type, and as assertion might be necessary fallback. First time chat, Matissa Tech, am I saying that right? Welcome, thanks for coming in. How are you? I'm working on Typescript-eslint. Curious if you use it, know of us. We are looking at a pull request from Kirk actually in the chat. It's pinned, adding a lint rule, use unknown and catch callback variables. Let me know if this is an area you're familiar with. But while typing the .catch in your promise code. making sure it's an unknown and not an any in TypeScript. And if all that is gibberish to you, I'm happy to explain more. But yeah, so looking at the code, catch variable inner is like a whole bunch of different possible types. So thinking on TS parameter property, do you have an example here? Private, protected, public. Nope. TS parameter property. You AI emoted me. Oh, is that? Oh, that's cool. That all? Yeah, that kind of looks like me. Kinda, yeah. It's the sweater thingy that I was wearing in my profile. I would prefer not having my face fed to the AIs, but I think it's too late for that. It's already happened separately from you, so I guess it is what it is. It's all public. It's really a complaint about the world at large, not anything you're doing. Yeah, our local, great. That makes me happy. Honestly, no worries. I'm just shouting at clouds here. Yeah, so agreed. TS parameter property. If it can't happen in a function literal since it's not a class, then yeah, don't worry about it. Types should represent that. That's not doable. Yeah, if it literally can't be hit, we don't have to handle it. Cool. So I feel like I understand this function. I'm happy with it. Praise, lots of tricky. I do want to praise it. Where is the top of it? Praise. Lots of tricky stuff here. Nice job handling them all. Because yeah, this is really nice. Let's collapse it. All right. So now check whether should flag single spread arg. So yeah, now we're getting into the type checking part where we're using the type checker to determine whether something is a particular thing or not. Got a few calls to that. We actually reset all changes. So the first place we would use that is promise catch access to determine whether something is a promise catch. So if it's not a member expression called catch, then we return false. Answers whether the member expression looks like X, that member name, X of member name, or even const, whatever, or optional variants thereof. Yep. So this is actually like a pretty common need in the repo of like, is something a particular name? So I'm actually going to say, we had talked, someone had talked separately. Oh, I don't have this remote on my computer. You made a comment to the PR that's, oh, great. Ah, there it is. Yep. Wait, is this the same one? No, I'm looking for a different thing. That's 109. I want to look for... What am I looking for? Is static member access of... yep, there we go. Yep. Make utility for static member access. There it is. Cool. Yeah, so basically what's happening is we have a lot of different rules that check something specific to some particularly named method, like promise.catch or array.find we've seen. So it would be nice to have kind of solidified handling for checking whether something is a particular named property or method or whatever. And a lot of different rules do a lot of different ways. So came out of the comments on the prefer find rule that like we really need it would be nice to have a utility for this. So yeah, I agree. I'd say it's fine for now to leave this function internal to this rule. We wouldn't want to modify other functions for it in this, or other rules, behaviors in this PR, so we wouldn't likely be able to use it in many places in all the relevant places if we did extract in this PR. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Thanks for asking, Kirk. Danny, welcome. How's it going? We're looking at a lint rule. A typed lint rule. Very topical. I'm pretty sure this function is not sound, but I also haven't figured out a way to break it. Is there a shared utility or a better way to do this? Love the question. All right, let's take a look at function is parentheses less arrow. We definitely have a shared utility for this. Surely we have something that checks for these in TS files, excluding test files. Ugh. Surely this is something. Oh. Ooh, excuse me. How do we not? I don't know. It's a great question. Yeah. Yeah. So for context on the chat, I've been since I work on the typescript-eslint team and we work on type check linting, I've been talking to other linter folks such as Danny and Ben Kaleidowave, who works on Esno, about like type checking and Rust and TypeScript and all this stuff. Thanks, Toby. Appreciate you hanging out and the support. Have a good one. So yeah, it's fun. The whole area of the industry is really evolving. Like what even is a lint rule as a definition is going to change over time as they get more and more powerful and faster. So that's really exciting. I swear to God, there has to be a way. Ooh, 2 spaces. There has to be a way that we've done this already. Surely some rule checks for parentheses less. Let me get rid of the regular expression rabbit. So maybe in test files, someone. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look up in our issue tracker. So is issue label bug arrow. So like have any rules messed up when you have an arrow function? I feel like I have a vague memory of seeing issues or like type annotations added there. Let's see if arrow parentheses is mentioned. Nope. Nope. Am I spelling that right? Parentheses. I did see one about a single parameter. Arrow dash. Aha! Right, we have an arrow dash parens. Third one? Ah, incorrect fix. Yeah. Array type with rest parameters. Ah. But at least the array type rule surely has handling for this. Paren is parenthesized. Aha! Is that used here? So there's an AST utility, which is actually from the common popular ESLint utils package. So there it is. It's a good search term. Yeah, let's see who uses it. Array type, no confusing void expression, consistent type assertion. Look at all these things. Ah, get wrapping fixer. Wraps node with some code, add parentheses if necessary. Right. Okay, I think, yep, is another good utility we've had to use. Right. I think that should answer the question. Oh, I hope so. Let me know if not. Yep. These are the things. Cool. Awesome. So I'll leave it at that. Look at all those tests. Cool beans. Yay. Glad. All right, so going back to the rule, separate from the parentheses. Let's collapse that function, static access, etc., etc. Cool. So I feel like I'm pretty happy with the rule so far. The names are a little verbose. Check whether. If check whether style. Is it a strong preference on your end to include the check whether prefix? I think it'd be a bit more readable to omit it. I think it's implied by the should. The functions being used in a logical location. This isn't like a blocker or a strong preference for me. More of a question for now before I think more on it. Cool. Because actually, check whether, like, because it's extra wordage, it makes me wonder, like, is there some fancy, like, return type or whatnot? Also, just docsnit, we generally, I've kind of moved away from thinking of cases as normal versus edge. There are so many wacky things people do. Just food for thought. Food for thought, not strongly requesting any changes. If you really like the normal phrasing. Come on, emoji. All right. This rule makes sense to me and I like it. Let's look at the tests. Just seeing, make sure there are a lot. I mean, there are a lot of these, so I'm going to probably kind of just skim to make sure they all catch the things that I can think of. Honestly, I'm getting ideas for stuff to check from looking at the tests. Catch args. Yeah, like, so this, what I like is this even like gets the type of a function. So like if you do like a dot catch that takes in something else, it'll look at that, which is really nice. Looking at the messages now, as I go through them, a destructuring, use the intrinsic unknown. I would honestly like just slightly touch this up, maybe a bit to like prefer unknown for a catch callback variable. Per unknown. The safe unknown. Is this a doc? It's docs. Nip. Trimming down the text a bit. And intrinsic. Although intrinsic is the right term here, it's not something a lot of folks know. Like the concept of intrinsic type, something that's like built into TypeScript or the global types concepts. Cool idea, relevant and pertinent, but not something every user knows. All right, destruction pattern makes assumptions about the object that may not be valued. It would be good to be specific on those assumptions. What assumptions? Docs. So I'd say maybe the thrown error might not. I don't even know that we need a special case here. Array, symbol iterator, object, certain properties. Okay. You know, I don't know that we really need be an object of the expected with the expected shape. Good to be clear on what referenced ideas are, to be specific. Instead of saying there are some assumptions, explicitly mention them, unless unless there are so many that the docs page should list them, in which case it might make more sense to just say to read the docs or something like that. If you have X unknown. Oh, got it. I see what you're saying. So like if I don't know. I feel like if someone's using an array destructuring, that's a pretty rare case, and I don't think it's likely that someone will accidentally use an object or a array syntax. I think someone will accidentally. Folks are likely to accidentally use or destructuring when they meant to make a single param. I'd expect these cases to be more, they're assuming the thrown object is a particular shape. But it could happen if they forget the ... That's a good point. Yeah, no, you're right. Summarizing a Twitch a conversation we're having on Twitch. Oops. I at first don't think, but you make a good point that they might forget the ... Now, I'm not so... Anyway, I'll just leave this here. It's fine as is. Like, if we get it wrong at first, the worst case scenario is just, oh, the docs are a little misleading. We can fix it up later. Best case scenario, you're totally right. We actually should make these explicit considerations in them. Great. These all look good. Except the nits ownership isn't necessary. I've learned the hard way to try not to imply ownership of code. E.g., like, folks sometimes enable new rules on other people's code. Your argument list. What do you mean my argument list? Oh. The argument list make a data handler does not use unknown for the cache variable. Cool. Great descriptions. Awesome. Cool. So just yeah, the way people get all nitpicky and stuff. Just throwing this out there. I'm not going to comment since you're here, Kirk. You might want to, like, if you wanted to, I should say you could, if you wanted to, combine these, like with an or. This could like return, not that, or return tsutils status instead of an if else. Is this object used? This could be in lines. Get noted object. Although I'm guessing maybe prettier would collapse it, in which case, extra blank line there. It's up to you. Cool. Looking through the comments, did I not comment on this? Oh, I commented the other. Dealing with others from no use to use promises. Is there a going to? I don't think we have one. Let's just go to that point in code. Yeah, I might write that, or be in support of that. Not a yeah. So what is this? Line 109. Oh, Jerry's coming out. Dude's gonna start bothering me. I know it. This is the berry. Freaking guy. Let's see how long this lasts. Alright. Decal, if it's a parameter and has a ... token. This one has truthiness and this one is not equal to null. Little inconsistency. Then we check if it's an array type. Yeah, I feel like this is a reasonable thing to extract into utility. I'd say try it out, yeah. Seems reasonable to me. And he's gone. Bye! Get out of here, Jerry. Cool. I think that's reasonable. +1. Let's try it out. Good call. +1 for suggesting. Yeah, not everyone would suggest. Some people, and this is totally reasonable, I'm not dishing or shading. Some people would like just copy and paste and then wait for review to comment these things. Like it's hard to suggest refactors to existing code. All right. Should flag multiple spread args. One could try to be clever about unpacking fixed length tuples and stuff like that, but there's no need since this is all invalid use of catch anyway at the end of the day. Instead, we'll just check whether any of the possible args types would violate the rule on its own. Yeah, makes sense. That's why the message was like, it might. Cool. Another blank line there. You could remove if you wanted to. Style or docs. I might remove some of these. Listen, how many characters is that? OTHERWISE, comma, FLAG. And they're like 20-line comments that just restate the code. Up to you. I don't think it adds much, but if you really like it, I'm not going to block. Cool, yeah, I feel good about this. I can't think of anything new to add that hasn't already been mentioned or is already in the test, so this looks great. Awesome job on, seriously, awesome job on all the edge cases and whatnot. Left a few comments in line, so requesting changes, but really solid all up. No major notes. Yay! Thanks, Kirk. Anyway, I've been here about an hour and a half, and I'm gonna have to go. So this was fun. Thanks y'all for hanging out. I'm gonna go raid someone now. I see, 2 people with a good amount. Nate Codes and Dax. I haven't seen Dax in a while, so I'm gonna head out and y'all tell them, they're pairing. Tell them I said hi if they ask. But anyway, I'm Josh. I work on typescript-eslint and a bunch of other open source. Y'all can find me on the internet. This has been fun. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. Especially shout out to Captain Kirk. Bye, y'all.